Good morning, everyone! It's ServerSmash again! Hello, everyone. My name is Farah. I'll be your main cast today, and with me, I'll be joined by a couple of really special people. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
I'm Redolent, normal partner in crime here, and as I said, Farah, it's only morning for you. Some of us, it's only evening.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's let me put this. It's 02:45 UTC, and oh my god, it's early. But there you go.
We have an Australian friend with us today as well.
G'day there, guys. It's Kamikaze78 here. And yes, only morning for you, Farah. It's currently, what is it? It is 12:45 PM here in Australia.
That's
the beauty
nice
of time zones.
Maddox, are you here, mate? Say hello.
Hi.
What are you doing today, Maddox?
I'm here for streaming for our Korean fans for Planetside, and some of our players are in the ServerSmash for representing Connery, and I'm on behalf of the Korean players, and I'm going to streaming live for them. And yeah, this is our first time, so it's not that really natural for it. So yeah,
that's cool. I put the stream chat link in channel, so they'll get that in 2 minutes from what we're saying here. So hey, if you want to watch it in Korean, be my guest.
This is the very first time we're going to have an international cast of ServerSmash. We've never, even though we have many people who play in a lot of different languages, this I'm fairly certain is the first time we ever have somebody else casting in another language.
It's a very niche market.
Yes. So Maddox
well,
will
actually,
be...
yeah, it's
okay.
Officially, it's the first time, but unofficially, I did it once last time for Connery versus Cobalt. And yeah, and I'm actually really excited to have this kind of opportunity here, and I'm really looking forward to it. Good luck to both of you guys, and yeah, I'll be watching.
Cool stuff. Well, yeah, you've got your own lobs cam. You can kind of follow your own little kind of combat stuff, and you can comment. It's your own little kind of mini channel for ServerSmash for, I guess, the fans in Korea. Okay then. So today, Red, who's playing?
We have Briggs versus Connery. Briggs is playing as NC, and Connery is playing VS, and we are back on the continent of Amerish, and this is our Amerish version 2.0. We got a lot of good feedback the other matches we did here. A lot of people like this map better than the other Amerish map we did. There's a lot more going on here. It has a little bit of traps that the other map didn't have. The old map, if you didn't get the north, you were pretty much screwed. There weren't a lot of options. We've seen a lot of different ways to grab territory on this map. We haven't even played that many games here yet.
It's been a while since we've played here. These maps were played kind of generally the beginning of our test season this month, or this year, sorry. But to kind of lay out what this current map is, we have the Briggs will be playing a new conglomerate from the Amerish Eastern Warpgate. That's up here in the northeast. Connery will be playing Banu Sovereignty in the south, Amerish Southern Warpgate. And the main points of interest we have on the eastern lane, we have Subterranean Analysis, known as many other bases, but it is quite a death trap. In the kind of slightly over to the west from Subterranean Analysis is Split Peak Pass. That is a large 3-point base. We're looking forward to kind of how the fights work there. I'm wondering if perhaps Connery will make plays for the tech plant of Briggs via Mikhail Auxiliary Compound. That could be interesting. We then have Skull Cluster Bleep Mountain in the centre with the Ascent, Raven's Landing, Rockslide Outlook, and Lithcorp Central. Lithcorp Central being an open base to whoever captures their first kind of adjacencies. And we have our large outpost in the centre of the Bastion. That's up for grabs. And then right up into the northwestern corner, between Soltech Charging and Deserted Mineshaft, we have one of the only links where there are no kind of neutral bases in the centre. And I remember some of the best fights in the last Amerish map was between Soltech Charging, Deserted Mineshaft, down to Soltech Gorge. Just way off in the wilderness, miles away from everyone else, just having your own personal little battle. That was pretty cool to watch.
It's interesting, this is the second time that Connery will be playing on Amerish, and this is a different Warpgate than when they played before. Those of you who probably remember, they lost a heartbreaker to Miller in literally the last 4 seconds of the match. But
East Hills Checkpoint. It's still not being renamed. It's a shame.
East Hills Checkpoint, and it was far and away the closest ServerSmash we've ever had. It was down to the wire.
Seconds.
Last minute buzzer beater there from Miller to get that base, and now Connery gets to kind of see this continent from another side. Maybe they can learn from Miller. Maybe they can take some of those lessons of what Miller did to them, kind of use it to put the screws on Briggs.
Speaking of the teams and the formats here, Connery unfortunately hasn't had a win this season, and I'm sure they're looking, with their last game of this kind of practice set of games, I'm sure they're looking forward to kind of end with a bang here. And they've got nothing to lose, so whatever they're trying today, whatever they're going to doing, I'm sure Connery's obviously going to put everything there into it. And then conversely, Briggs, the former undefeated server, tragically, poor Skippy, I heard he was drunk. Is he okay, Cam, is he?
He's recovering.
Okay. So Emerald got absolutely Emerald smashed Briggs in the last game, and it was quite a heavy one-sided defeat. And now, hopefully, Briggs, you would think, Cammy, they're back for revenge. They want to kind of set the record straight, similar to say how Cobalt when they bounced back against Connery after their defeat to Miller. Are we going to see a resurgent Briggs here today?
Definitely so. I mean, I guess you could say the reason that we lost the Emerald match was because our ego got way too big. And I remember a comment that one of you guys made in a previous stream was that Briggs, we like to bounce back in the last half an hour of a match, and that's how we win our games. We make a last minute stand and take the last couple of territories. And let's just say that our ego was too big to fit through that window for the Emerald Smash, and we've rectified that, and we hope to come back swinging here today.
Well, Red, tell us, I mean, you're looking at the map, right? And same as I am showing the stream. If you're starting as Connery, what's your opening play? I mean, how are you going to play this out?
This is the interesting thing about this second Amerish map here. The focus is really on the center, and something that we've seen in all the matches here, even the internal smashes between Cobalt and Miller, the Bastion is really a trap play. A lot of people go for the Bastion, they spend all their time and effort trying to get it, and it winds up hurting them in the long run. Connery did that from the Eastern Warp Gate last time. The thing you have to do is find a way to cut off the enemy's access into the Ascent. If you can do that, if you can get in there either through interdiction or through cutting off through Lithcorp, that's really what you want to do. You gain your territory someplace other than the middle, but the middle is really how you lock down this map, far more so than the other old Amerish map. Something to watch out for is that subterranean nanite lane. It is a weak spot for Connery. If Connery loses subterranean, it's just one fairly easy cap point into Zealous Biolab, and that Biolab caps very quickly. It's really easy from the Southern Warp Gate to kind of be focused on Split Peak Pass, make sure you lock that down, make sure you get that base. Don't forget about SNA. You're only going to get that base when it's neutral. We all know how difficult it is to get it once it's defended.
It's the lack of garage and whatnot. It's just exposed.
It's a wall. You have to get in there. You have to get that when it's neutral, or you're probably not going to get it again. I think the wild card, as you said, before, is that northern lane. Do you put a whole bunch of people up there? The other matches we've seen, it's been 1 to 12, 24 at most. A couple people fighting back and forth. What happens if you put a platoon up there? Can you gain enough territory to make it worth your while? I think that's all stuff that I expect to see today.
I'm just looking at the map here because I haven't actually considered this before, but the difference between playing this current Amerish map now and the beginning of the season is that there's been a slight change in the game mechanics. That cut-off territory means you can't spawn in anymore. So I don't really think territory can easily be cut off. Well, no, I tell a lie, actually. For example, if the South, Connery, were to push via Raven's Landing, Lithcorp, Rockslide, for example, and threaten Crux headquarters, cutting off Crux headquarters actually negates the tech plant. It's kind of an interesting lane. It'd be very tricky, and to take Crux headquarters would be quite an achievement in its own regard. But it's possible to cut off, enemy territory and perhaps kind of carve around. We'd have to see if that kind of makes any difference today. And you're right about subterranean analysis. It can go both ways. I think Connery needs to make a good play subterranean analysis. It's a nice little defensive base. It makes it very hard to take once you've got it. And you can also push up a couple of lanes towards Anatha Biolab rather than being threatened at Zealous Biolab.
I've actually heard really good things about the opening fights there. It's a base that's universally loathed on live. Well, I guess loathed if you're attacking it. And, it was... I remember when we produced this map, a lot of people said, oh my god, SNA, I can't believe we're going to have to fight there. But because it's only that first that first fight, and because it's so different, the base acts so differently when it's neutral. A lot of people really like the fights. They like the strategy of, do you go for it first? Do you let somebody cap it halfway? Do you try and go in there and take out their spawns afterward and grab the point back? You know, it plays completely differently in the opening of a ServerSmash than it does on live.
So, Cammy, let me ask you a question here, right? Off track now from strategies. What kind of force composition do you think Briggs is bringing here today? I mean, are they playing fewer, larger platoons, smaller, more platoons, kind of M-Word-esque? I mean, how are they going to basically kind of be committing or stretching out the forces?
Well, something that we addressed from our previous match was that we weren't starting enough fires and we didn't have enough QRF on the field. We had too many large groups that weren't moving fast enough. So I think we're going to see a lot more quick reaction forces in today's Briggs force composition.
So you think more QRFs?
Definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
interesting,
So, I know
interesting.
For the fact that my outfit is currently playing in a platoon of 2 squads, in which they plan to simply start fires and put out the ones that Connery starts.
And what about you,
that's the
Redland?
same.
What do you think Connery's going to be bringing today? How do you think they're going to be organising their forces?
I know Connery has been working to really try and learn from their mistakes and from their past matches. I don't know a lot about their force composition, but I know that they are really interested in trying new things and trying to get out of the rut they're in. So I'm very interested to see what they've come up with.
Because I like one of the things that Miller's been experiencing is how the composition were in their previous game against Emerald. Emerald has a really effective system where they, as has been posted many times on Reddit, they don't necessarily use a QRF, which is really interesting. They just have lots of platoons, not necessarily at full strength, on every single lane, applying pressure at every single lane, and then they help each other in lane adjacency. Now that, I suppose you need to kind of be competent in your ability of your platoon leaders to be able to read the map and then give support to adjacent lanes, but it does mean you can apply maximum pressure and maximum number of points and still have the flexibility to move back and forth and help each other. Whereas,
that's one of the most interesting things about ServerSmash to me is the change of the meta. When we started ServerSmash, people figured out the QRF, people figured out the airball, and that was the dominant meta for 10 games, the 6 games.
Or more,
And that started changing, and suddenly people figured out, hey, we don't have to have air to win. And I think we're at the point now where maybe people are figuring out, hey, we don't have to have QRF to win. There are other ways to do this. That's the most interesting part to me, is when people figure out what's working and then somebody else figures out how to get around that, and that becomes the new meta.
Okay, we are going to go into our intro video. We've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds until game start. I'll head to our respective NC work kit. You can go to the VS1. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Where we come from, we each fight for loyalty, for freedom, or perhaps enlightenment, but not here. Here we cast aside our disparate beliefs, our barriers and preconceived notions, and band together as a global force to engage in the largest competitive battles the world has ever seen. We are the squads, the platoons, the empires and servers, full of players coordinating a complex game of strategy and tactics. This is where combined arms happens. This is where war comes to play. This is ServerSmash.
Okay, we are now 1 minute to go. I should say there's a minor caveat here. Maelstrom, who runs... Oh, that's Justice, yeah.
Before match start, 1 minute.
Thank you, Justice, yeah. So, with less than a minute to go, there's a little caveat from Maelstrom, who runs our alerts and stats today. They might break, they might not work. He's gone to sleep like a wuss, as far as I'm aware. So, we'll just have to see what happens. But everything should be fine. I have complete faith and confidence in him.
Yes.
Oh, and this is a perfect time to realise my stream settings are slightly off. Oh no, I'm cutting off the... Oh, that's annoying. I'm cutting off the bottom. Well, that'll be interesting. I can't change that because I'd need to stop the stream. Oh well, let's just continue on, shall we?
Doing it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live. We don't need the bottom of the map. It's fine. That's just got my certs.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go.
And we have match start for ServerSmash number 40! Briggs versus Connery, and I'm already beginning to see the beginning flight ball as we were all used to. Large number of Reavers heading at the warp gate, and where's your force headed for, Redolent?
Large group headed towards the Ascent, probably trying to get that Raven's Landing, maybe even interdict at Lithcor, get up in there. Actually, a significant force heading north.
A lot of Briggs Reavers heading center of map also.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the opening play is. I mean, they'll obviously need to start Rock Slide right at the beginning. Bastion isn't necessarily super important because it's, you know, the first couple of minutes, it's a large outpost. You can make plays for elsewhere.
Attempted to interdict here at Rock Slide Outlook. I don't know that they got there in time. The point is flashing. Did they kill him off in time? They might have.
They have.
Connery has managed to interdict.
Oh, wow! That's ballsily hard, though, right?
First time we've ever seen anyone manage to do that. They have a spawn beacon up. They got an entire squad down there.
Oh, but it's flipping! It's flipping! Who's there? Who's flipping it? Oh no, it's only marginally flipped by 1 point.
Yeah, they killed them off as they were coming, so they really have to defend. They have to make sure that nobody gets here, that nobody puts even a single body on there.
Now, don't get me wrong, they've got a squad here, and this is quite... I mean, we'll check the rest of the map in a second here, but this is quite important.
NC Galaxy coming in. NC Galaxy is flying... Oh, never mind, he's actually flying over to the Ascent.
Is he empty? Oh, wait, there's an NC. There's a couple of NC. It's not enough, alright. See, it's a good play. I like it.
Oh, hang on, it's an NC Burstamax is trying to take out the Connery airball over the Ascent currently.
Wow, and it's only piecemeal guys going towards Rockside Outlook. Alright, so while Rockside Outlook's going on, we can see Bastion's ticking down heavily in Briggs' favour. Briggs hasn't started the Rockside Outlook, and the cap at Raven's Landing is ticking. It means they're going to get a huge advantage when it comes to Lithcorp Central. The starting on the Ascent doesn't matter as much, but...
Briggs has definitely decided to go with Repair Gal meta. They have 3 or 4 Repair Gals all grouped up together, all trying to stay together. They actually got split up there. The Connery Air managed to split up the Repair Gal ball and take all 4 of them out very quickly. They were doing so well as they stayed together, but all of a sudden, divide and conquer.
I'm looking at Connery Airball right now, and I'm seeing it.
Connery Airball's above Rockside Outlook, as far as I can tell. There's a ton of scythes.
This is a huge airball. I'm starting to consider whether or not like this is their entire airball, whether some of their infantry has been tasked to stay in the air. I'm not entirely sure right now.
This is, I tell you what, this continued hold at Rockslide is huge. I mean, 2 minutes now, and they've still got it. It's impressive. Another thing is Subterranean Analysis is actually a 2-1 favor in Connery, so they're definitely getting Subterranean.
I'm here at Subterranean, and Connery holds it, but nobody is flipping the gens. They're actually trying to take the NC off the gens. The NC had not flipped anything, and I wonder if that's because the NC realized that they were outnumbered, that all they would be doing is helping flipping that gen when it's neutral.
So they're just defending it?
They were. They just got wiped off of it, so now Connery has managed to flip the gen. They have 2-1 numbers here. They have tanks, they have Sunders, they have spawns.
You know what? I think Briggs hasn't committed to force the Rockside. I think they thought it would just be simple and they would just drop here and then flip it. All their forces are committed elsewhere. Look, they've got the huge overpop at Bastion right now for Briggs, and they don't have Rockslide secure. I think that's a big mistake. It's more important to flip Rockslide than it is go for Bastion at the moment. I mean, Raven's Landing is about to go, and they're going to get Lithcorp for free. I mean, they've already got forces there committed, ready to go.
My main guess with the Bastion is the fact that, you know, they thought that, you know, because the Vanu have a connection, or Connery has a connection there, that they'd see more resistance, and they haven't. So, very interesting play by Connery there. It's kind of thrown Briggs' early play off by the looks of things.
And the thing is,
another thing going swimmingly for Connery right now is McCullough Auxiliary Compound. They have at least a platoon, probably a platoon
50-50, yeah, I'll go check that out.
People on the point. Briggs cannot get down the stairs right now. They are trying to push people down through galaxy drops, and there's just a massive amount of lashers and maxes down here. I see Recursion on the point, so it's nice to see Recursion back in the play for Connery. They had kind of gone away for a while, so Connery really getting a good opening.
Healthy number of maxes, nice kind of watching the choke points. Briggs here, yep, their tech plant is going to be threatened in the next 25 seconds unless they can make a defensive save here. And they've even got the battle Sunders inside, I can see in the minimap. Inside the point.
Air Force switching up to Reavers that now sort of followed the ESF method that Connery brought to them, but unfortunately they're getting picked off one by one. The Connery Air Force in the center of the map.
Oh, Mac trash. Mac's coming on the cap point at McCall Auxiliary. Oh, but with 7 seconds to go though, this is close. I mean, there's still bodies on the capture point. I don't think Briggs is going to pull this off. And they don't! Connery takes blood! They get McCall Auxiliary Compound. Do they have anyone on the tech plant?
Absolutely learned their lesson from Emerald. I am here at Lithcorp Central. They have a deployed Sunderer on the point. They have a Fury Sunderer parked up to block people from coming down. This is what we've not been seeing from Connery. They are ahead on points. They are using force multipliers. They have Sunderers blocking in positions. This is an amazing opening from Connery so far.
They're still holding onto the rock slides capture point. I mean, they're out pop. It's 55 to 40. The Bastion's still ticking down, but the fact is, at any time, Connery can go there and stop that. And you're right. There's 2 squads at Lithcorp Central.
Connery have just came over to the Bastion. They've actually taken the C point and slowed down the cap for Briggs here.
Oh, I think Briggs is making a mistake. They've committed too much for a large outpost in the first crucial 4 minutes of the game. And you're right, I'm looking at Lithcorp Central. Deployed Sunderer, Battle Sunderer on the point, fighting closer to the banana building. The Connery Air Force, I'm loving what Connery's doing here, is basically prowling the skies over the Ascent. Connery's making a big play for the Ascent Mountain.
Briggs has finally captured the Rockslide Outlook capture point here.
Now, actually, what I want to know is that why isn't the Ascent ticking down and why isn't Lithcorp Central ticking down? They've got Raven's Landing.
In McCullough Tech Plant, this is like...
hold on. Why isn't Lithcorp Central ticking down? They've got the capture point. I don't see a cap timer.
I'm seeing that too.
Go get the referee. Find out.
That is strange.
And the Ascent, there's time dilation, right? Is the map being prevented from flipping? See, none of the capture points are flipped at the Ascent. I want to know what's going on here.
I'm not seeing any Vanu troops on the Ascent currently.
Yeah, they got some air forces, and they're not playing for the Ascent at the beginning, but there we go, now it's ticking down. That was very odd. What was going on there? So that's kind of important because, alright, it's finally ticking down now, but ultimately, there was a good latency. It means that, yes, they'll get Lithcorp Central almost uncontested. Not guaranteed, because Rockslide Outlook was counting down before Lithcorp started ticking, but I want to know what happened there. Maybe that's something we'll find out later. But Split Peak Pass was ticking in favour of Connery, but look at that, they've all left. It's really just 1 to 12 fighting at the moment. Subterranean Nanite Analysis is currently going down to 2 minutes.
Subterranean Nanite Analysis now being captured by the NC. This could be a very powerful play to control this lane here.
Go check that out.
Looking up at the north, I'm going to head up to Soltech Charging. Connery had managed to repel that NC force up there, but the NC look like they're pushing back again.
And actually, as I say that, Subterranean Nanite is now being recaptured by the Vanu, so...
Thing is, it's on the 2 minute marker, so it's both teams, it's still 2 minutes, because basically for the NC did the Vanu a favour because they flipped the point. In terms of spawn options, however, we can see 1 NC Sunder for Briggs, which Connery Valkyrie has spotted. I'm not entirely sure what this guy is going to do. Alright, heavy assault. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Nothing, apparently. I'm not seeing spawn options for the Vanu Sovereignty for Connery at Subterranean Analysis. They're going to have to bring in extra forces here. Oh wait, no, sorry, take that back. There is a spawn Sunder here. Let's go inside, shall we?
At Soltech Charging, there is about 2 to 1 NC pop last time I looked here, and there's a lot of force multipliers, a lot of Sunders out here. Unless the Vanu sends some people back pretty quickly, I think this is gonna fall. They are making a charge out into the banana building though, trying to push across those.
I'm trying not to get lost with my camera. Let's move down to the point.
I just cannot seem to find any of the air. Like, they were over the center of the map a moment ago, and now they've all seemed to disappear on both sides. I'm trying to find out where the hell they've gone.
So the capture point is actually completely unmanned here by Briggs, but it looks like they're going to get Subterranean Analysis. We've only got 60 seconds to go, and no Connery in sight to be seen. With the exception, obviously, on the top floor. And I guess Briggs at the moment is just kind of keeping them at bay, holding them outside.
Connery is making a desperate charge to the point here at Soltech Charging. They did bring enough population.
Bastion.
I see them spilling in right now.
Check that out. Bastion uncontested. It's going to go in 30 seconds. I would have thought that Connery was going to move into Bastion and contend it, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
On the Makala side of things, Briggs has managed to recap the point. They've actually moved a couple of Sunderers up to the Makala outpost, Makala auxiliary compound, in preparation for that cap. So essentially, they're going to get the,
yep, Connery's Air Force is currently at Soltech charging. Very impressive laser light
now,
show.
this is an interesting thing here. Lithcorp Central has 24 to 48 Vanu there that didn't need to be there. Nobody could stop their cap. They got 40 seconds left, and now with Rockslide and Bastion capping, they can be contested. So maybe this was the intention. Maybe they were leaving people there knowing that the NC were going to try and drop and take Lithcorp.
Question: do we have a gentleman's agreement in place today?
I do not believe so, but...
Gentleman's agreement being air-to-air lock-on missiles, if anyone's wondering. It's not necessarily something we enforce or make a rule with, but... Okay, so Bastion and Rockslide go in favour of the NC, that's Briggs. Lithcorp Central...
Briggs NC is spending massive galaxy forces to try and take Lithcorp Central. They are getting absolutely slaughtered as they come up from the Bastion. I just saw 4 galaxies get blown up. I don't know if they were full trying to do drops here. They aren't getting anywhere near the point. Just absolute massacre right there.
Connery's Air Force right now is over Soltech, and they are just hammering the Briggs infantry trying to get to the A point here. They've actually made it to A point, but if that Air Force decides to move in, they are going to get downright slaughtered thanks to the fact that it is an open point.
The thing is, with all this Air Force, the capture point is in the hands of Briggs, right? And this is a Connery base. So where's the Briggs spawning from? Of all the
something I have noticed a lot of that we have not seen from really anybody recently, and I see a ton of it from Connery. Connery has lots of Liberators up. I'm curious to know is this the air group that's pulling this? Is this internal to the platoons that are pulling this? But I've probably run into 5 or 6 what I assume are Dalton libs, at least from the meaty thump when they fly past me. That's a real change from how you normally see the airballs. Airballs are usually just ESFs. Massive max crash from the NC at Makala Tech Plant trying to take back the balcony right now. We have, it looks like Recursion holding onto the balcony at Makala Tech Plant, trying to get this cap. Recursion and Solex are the tags that I see.
Well, it looks like the capture point... I think the Briggs force is mainly using beacons here to reinforce Soltech charging. So it's a tenuous capture. Doesn't look like they're going to get Soltech charging just right now. And, oh wow, okay, so... we thought this would be happening. This is the case. The Connery force that took Lithcorp Central has now moved over to Rockside Outlook and are cutting off Briggs' link to the Ascent. The Ascent is ticking down in the first half because it's a neutral base. Doesn't necessarily matter. So if they can cut off Rockslide in the next 2 minutes, they'll get Ascent for free. And that sort of negates the fact that they didn't get the Bastion. That is kind of their play. However, Briggs is setting up a new cap at Deep Core Geolab. Someone from Connery is going to have to go to Deep Core and stop the lane pressure at Hyoka.
Is your clock or your stats working on your overlay? They are not working for me.
No, but I've got the countdown clock and that's it.
Okay.
But it says reconnecting, so I'm not bringing up stats.
Briggs has managed to get a harasser up onto the gun deck here. I just watched it jump up. So they now have a canister harasser at the tech plant. They took the point back as I was messing with my stats there. Massive resecure at their tech plant here, and now they have a canister harasser to do
and he left. You have to burn it out.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Nice.
As I expected, Briggs Air Force has just counteracted the Connery Air Force at Soltech. They're
Hold
now
on.
pretty much clear out.
According to Maelstrom, the stats just were fixed. Refresh your page. See what happens. Maelstrom, it's not working. It's not working, Maelstrom. Help! Alright, okay, so the current control is 49 to 48. Connery's got a tentative lead, using the in-game stats. Right, so counter flip at Lithcorp Central by the Briggs force from Bastion, but Rockslide Outlook, oh, they're out pop 60 to 40, so I wonder whether they can hold on to the capture point and make this go through. Thing is, so long as they're fighting at Rockslide, they're not fighting at the Ascent. Oh, they actually have a Battle Thunder on the point. Rockslide, that's cute.
Interestingly, at Zealous Northgate, there was a point hold going on from Briggs NC trying to get access into that biolab. This is part of what we talked about of losing subterranean nanite. There's a single Scatmax who's on the point just absolutely wrecking people here, but he can't flip the point. So the Vanu have tried to flip the point back. It's actually neutral at the moment, and it's probably only a moment.
Well, first drink of the evening, the force multiplier by Connery at Rockslide Outlook on the capture point is being absolutely murderous with Twin Furies on the approach to the capture point. It's just mauling all of the Briggs forces. They can't get close. And with 15 seconds to go, population-wise, it's 50-50, but that's mainly because of the air reinforcements from Connery. It's not necessarily infantry on the ground. All the numbers here for Briggs is infantry, and they're trying to get to the capture point, but with 4 seconds to go, I think Connery is going to take more blood. And yes, it is.
Connery have just tried to move from Soltec onto the next base up into Deserted Mineshaft, but the Briggs Air Force just absolutely murdered their Sunderers moving forward. Well played by Briggs there.
Okay, so the ascent is now uncontested and cannot be stopped in the next 1 minute. So the ascent is going to also go to Connery. That is big. Subterranean analysis went to the NC, and we can see that they're pressuring Zealous Northgate, although it's 50-50 and the timer is kind of not really going anywhere. Split Peak Pass, 2-1 numbers in favour of Briggs attacking there, but it's a large base, not really going anywhere. Capture point at the tech plant is again in hands of Connery, applying pressure at the tech plant. We'll have to go there next and see what's going on. As we said, the ascent's going to be taken by Connery. Lithcorp Central is the next big base that Connery has to defend along with the Deep Core Geolab. I think actually they've made a save at Deep Core Geolab, so that's fine. They made the save at Soltic Charging, so now Connery is applying pressure towards the Mineshaft, although as you said the Air Force just got shut down by Briggs. So
Connery Airball is now regrouped over the Quadi Amp Station and are now heading to the eastern side of the map. I think they're heading to Deep Core. In fact, yes, they are heading to Deep Core.
Would you say that both servers still have airballs up, or is one much more prevalent than the other?
I can only see the Connery one so far. I'm going to go looking for the Briggs one as we speak.
Briggs has re-attacked Zealous Northgate. They have a very nice point hold here. They do not have very many Sunderers or spawns coming in, mostly through galaxies and beacons at the moment. But it looks like Connery left after doing their nice little point hold, and they have to come across this terrible bridge that's just being absolutely camped here. I think this is 15 seconds. I think this is Zealous Northgate is about to fall for Briggs, and that biolab is going to be a nice little target for them to move on to.
And yeah, we can see the Deep Core is fully saved. Although Lithcorp, oh wow, it's still ticking down. This is the little annoyance in... I mean, they've made a perfect play here, Connery, for the capture point, for all of this mountain, but it'll only matter if they can make a save now at Lithcorp to lock down the entire mountain. It makes everything vulnerable if Lithcorp Central is not saved.
Okay, I've just come across Briggs Air Force. They're currently over the Ickenham Biolab, regrouping and preparing to find out where the Connery Air Force is, I think. They're waiting orders as we speak. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure Connery Air Force is around Lithcorp Central area.
Yeah, Lithcorp Central, huge amounts of Connery Air Force, and they've got the infantry to capture point. With a lack of spawns for the Briggs force, it's unlikely they'll get this back. So a 30 seconds save point. So now the Connery force at Lithcorp Central needs to make sure they stay here to get the timer fully saved. And then for Connery, the best thing they can do is apply pressure at Bastion. And wow, Crux headquarters going off. So this is exactly what we were saying at the beginning, double jeopardy. If they can get Crux headquarters, they cut off the tech plant entirely. This is big because this is the only tech plant. Right, I don't know how much MBTs are going to come into this main battle tanks, but this is the only tech plant for the Briggs force. It's going to be Mag Riders all the way with no Vanguards backup. And we're going to go to the tech plant now, but the fact is the tech plant could get cut off now. In a ServerSmash scenario, cut off lattice, what does that mean? Well, it means you can't pull tech from any other base because it's out of lattice link, only from the tech plant area. But ultimately, they would fly in reinforcements with gals and whatnot, and it's not just spawning the base.
Okay. So the Connery Airball has just located the Briggs Airball that was hanging around Ickenham Bio. There's now a huge dogfight happening over here. I'm not entirely sure who's going to win this, but Briggs is now making use of these repair gals to sort of use as a staging area for the aircraft. So how this will turn out, I don't know.
Since my observer cam is a Vanu observer cam, I can tell you that Vanu is also heavily using repair gals. I have not actually flown past a galaxy and not gotten repaired yet. So I think it's almost a default loadout now in ServerSmash. If you're not going to put anything else on a galaxy, put repair on it. At least you'll do something on your way somewhere.
Well, yeah, why have auto repair when you can have proxy repair and work in a pair too, right?
That's exactly right.
That point of the tech plant is still going through.
As the Connery Air Force moves in to take out these gals, they're just getting absolutely mashed up into little bits and pieces. I mean, these guys are not doing enough damage to these galaxies, where the galaxies are just out-repping them and ensuring that they can put more damage on the sides.
I just saw a Connery Sunder fight off the deployed Sunder for Briggs on the tail end of the tech plant, and they were just doing donut circle loops in reverse while it was a Fury War. That was cute.
I'm very impressed from Briggs. both vehicle terminals at McCullough Tech Plant are blown, which means that they actually had to send somebody here at the beginning of the match to do that with the intention of securing their tech plant in case things went badly wrong for them. We've seen so many tech plant holds go wrong because those vehicle terminals are not blown, so kudos to Briggs for thinking ahead and getting those down. It is making Connery's life a lot harder here. Under 2 minutes on this point hold, only a couple of maxes here. If we could get that great canister harasser driver back here from Briggs.
Briggs
he's coming back.
Now
He's
making
actually
the push
back
onto
here.
the balcony from the rooftop of the tech plant. How this will go, I'm not sure, because the Connery harassing him with Galaxies and with Liberators, but this could be the play that Briggs needs.
And while we're talking about the split peak pass was just captured by the NC.
The canister harasser's back. He's actually getting bombed by VS Air. Unfortunately, he can't get into the position he wanted to.
Where's this harasser? Is he outside or on the roof?
Yeah, he's outside.
Connery
He had to run
Galaxy
away.
just murdered that Briggs infantry moving towards the balcony of the tech plant. That was well played by them. Nice job, Connery.
I do not see enough of a force from Briggs yet. You would think that this would be the time where you'd want to come in. I see a couple of maxes trickling in down the tunnel underneath, but that's about it.
SCU critical.
Oh, and the SCU's triggered as well. Yeah, I can see the Sunder that's set up there. Who's following this harasser? Oh wait, here we go. Tunnels. Look at the tunnels. So tail end, everyone's going to know, the VS are going to know it from the back end that this is where it's going to happen.
Yeah, every single one of the... Alright, VS now regrouping. Oh, this is huge. It's just a meat grinder. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Absolute carnage at the bottom there. All the max is gone.
And today we saw Briggs' innocence was claimed at McCullough Tech Plant.
Resonate's going off left, right and center for Briggs, but it's just not enough to do it.
It's a massacre. It is a Connery massacre.
They're pushing up the elevator here.
And yeah, okay, they got a max onto the capture point, and I don't think they've got enough bodies to... Oh wait, no, I tell a lie, the point is contested and flipping. But the fact is Connery is condensing back onto the capture point. It is a max fight and it is an infantry fight and a res. I don't know, this is... Oh, the SU is down though.
Left, right and center.
The SU is destroyed though, and there are no spawn options for Briggs. So Briggs doesn't have a spawn, so once this thing is done, it's done. Yeah, once they're all dead and they lose this res fight, because the fact is Connery still has maxes up, which means this is going to be the huge decider in terms of who wins this fight. I mean, they're stalling here, and yes, they've got the point, but this is precious seconds. They need to get a spawn option up, otherwise Connery's going to crush this in a matter of time. Alright, here we go. It looks like they're beginning to wane. The reses are running out.
Connery right now on that balcony is absolutely destroying the Briggs advancements.
And there we go, 25 seconds, and with no spawn options, you gotta say that the tech plant is gonna go in favor of Connery. Connery's reinforcing, you can see the galaxies at the top. They've got the spawn options, they've got the capture point, the SU is that really repaired? Oh well, it's been repaired. Well, Connery's going to say thank you very much for repairing our SU.
That they are.
Another great A-point fight at a tech plant here in a server
Oh
smash.
wow, there you go. Connery gets Briggs' tech plant. Now, split peak pass did fall for the NC. So Briggs has got split peak pass. They were attacking the biolab, now they're being counter-hacked at Zealous Northgate. Araxicum substation from split peak is being attacked by another... Oh, this is also big. Just think of this. They're going to cut them off. So the fact is, they'll cut them off at Araxicum. Now, it's ServerSmash scenario, so the ability to move and spawn at the bases you're at is plausible. It doesn't mean you can't spawn at the base you're at, but it does mean that McCullough Auxiliary Compound is very hard to spawn into, so they would be cut off from behind. Crux headquarters was ticking down quite far, and it would have cut off McCullough cart mining. However, we've got 55% population now for Briggs at Crux headquarters. You can think that's probably going to happen. McCullough cart mining is already ticking down, so it looks like they're pushing up ahead. This is Connery. Lithcorp Central is being attacked again by Briggs, and so is Deepcore Geolab. So the fact that Connery was unable to hold a point at the Bastion means that two of their base lanes are under threat, and that's something that Connery needs to lock down. And then way over in the western lane we can see Soltic Charging Station, Deserted Mineshaft. There's not really been any progress between those lanes, although there is a pop advantage in favour of Connery.
Connery is doing a medic push here at Araxicom substation. They don't have very many maxes. This is just squishies. A lot of medic symbols coming out here. I think they're just trying to zombie their way onto the point. Briggs has a nice point hold. They're set up in all the right windows and doors. This is at Araxicom substation, but they don't have maxes either, and they don't have Galaxies or Fury support trying to hold those contested lanes.
I'm looking at the map now, and I'm seeing a lot of fires started up from Briggs right now, and this is exactly what I expected from us after the Emerald match. A lot of fires in a lot of different situations, attempting to spread Connery thin across the map. I'm seeing Zealous under siege, I'm seeing Araxicon, Lithcorp, Deepcore, and Soltech charging, all on the offense via Briggs.
There's now VS Galaxies incoming. Lots of Bulldog Galaxies coming in, dropping their people on the point, trying to take out these little nests of NC left.
There's no spawn sunder, oh man, and it's an exposed capture point, it's too much, and they just got crushed. I mean, 60% population with no spawn option and an exposed open air capture point, horrendous. The Lithcorp Central is still ticking down, and so is Deepcore though, so the fact is, for the 3 bases or 4 bases that they had under threat, even if they just get one of them, it's enough,
This is now the 3rd time I've run into this. This is obviously an understood idea for both servers. They have one ammo galaxy and multiple repair galaxies. You will find them in their territory, hovering behind some cover, repairing each other up, getting people to spawn back into them, and then going off. It's almost like they have designated areas to come back and repair and rearm, let the group spawn back into them, and then go off to the bases that they're doing. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a platoon waypoint or something that they're all going back to make sure that they can group up and do this.
Lithcorp Central is now in a lot of trouble right now. The NC point holder's been decimated by Vanu Air. I really need to find out where Briggs is.
But I'm not seeing the infantry though, that's the thing. For Connery, I'm not seeing the infantry at Lithcorp Central. Alright, there we go. We got a couple of strike. No, there we go. So the guys are running down because I don't see them on the minimap. Because I don't see them on the minimap, it means that the Briggs force doesn't see them coming down on the minimap, and the point's going to be flipped. That's one base flipped. How's Deepcore?
All 3 points are flipping at Crux headquarters. Massive galaxy resecure from Briggs at this point. All 3 flipped at exactly the same time. That right there was just repair galaxy meta. They repaired up as they were coming in. They got hammered pretty hard, but they managed to stick together and drop all their forces directly on all 3 points at the same time. And now that base is ticking back down in their favor.
So Connery made the save on the Araxicom, and they made the save at Lithcorp, but Deepcore is also ticking down, and it's even closer now at 50 seconds. And I'm not seeing Connery here making the save at the moment. They've got a... So Briggs has kind of got a quasi-battle sunder. I'm not entirely sure if he's trying to... Can he get in there? No, he's trying really hard to get on the point, but that's not going to work. 35 seconds to go. Oh wait, there's a counter-flank coming on the side.
Briggs is being exceptionally sneaky here at Zealous Biolab. They do not have enough of the points flipped to alert Connery that they're here, but they've just blown the generator to the SCU. They're taking the SCU out right now. They're going to try and take the SCU out without letting Connery know they're down here.
Oh, so they're not flipping any point. They're just doing a straight-up gen kill and then flip?
This is a common strategy seen on Briggs in our small style of gameplay. This is something I expected to see.
This is incredibly dangerous for Connery. As a force commander, you look around and you basically look for cues that you can see on the map. One of those cues is a timer that's ticking down. If you don't see that timer, you tend to just ignore it.
2 seconds. 2 seconds save at Deepcore Geolab. There's a proximity call for all of Briggs to get on the point, but I don't think it's enough. I think it's just too short. And that is a very, very last 2-second defense by Connery at Deepcore Geolab.
The fact is about this Biolab now, Briggs now have maxes, NC maxes sitting right up to the spawn room, and that's going to make it very difficult for Connery to make
13 seconds left on the
push.
SCU. Connery has not noticed this. Their force commander does not know that this is going on. They has not sent people here. This SCU is about to blow, and this is going to be captured for free from Briggs. 1 second, SCU is down,
SCU
and now
is
Briggs
down.
can capture at their leisure here.
And they were also making work on Zealous West Air Dock as a distraction, so that was very nicely done.
Wow, that is, that's got to be a free capture. And even if you have a Sunder in the V-bait, which I actually see Connery doing right now.
And Connery actually is pouring back in from one of their teleporters.
Hey, hang on a minute.
In from the A-point teleporter.
Why is no one watching the spawn room? They're deploying a Sunder in the base. Yeah, Connery's using the teleport, and they're not getting killed off. Connery's got the Sunder on the ground floor, and they're spawning back into their biolab via the teleporter in the spawn room, and Briggs has done this amazing play for all the capture points, but they're not watching the teleporter. What's the point?
One NC Max on his way in.
Okay, there's not a lot of them coming through, but still, it's... Oh, well, okay.
For the SCU being destroyed, all 3 points should be flipped. It looks like Connery managed to come in through the teleporters and take this.
There's still a lot of maxes, though, by Briggs. But even Charlie Point is counter... Alright, so there we go. Charlie's flipping, but Bravo's... Yeah, all three. The fact is, the ruse is gone. Look, it's 50-50 populations. Connery knows what's going on. This isn't like a flawless flip.
Yeah, they've lost the element of surprise here.
Yeah, the element of surprise is gone, and the Bravo capture point is definitely in hands.
Connery's about to get the gen back up. This is such a miraculous save.
Oh, what? The SCU generator is up, and... Oh, come on, let me inside. Alright, a little bit faster.
This still held.
This
But
is
not by
as
much. In fact,
close
there is
as
a
you
VS
can
light assault, and they're
possibly
capping
get.
it now, and they're going to get this back.
Okay, so there were some SCU defenders, and there's one Valiant engineer left, and a Max. He needs to try and stop it. Oh no, it's just a Max. One hero Max for Briggs, and he's now down. And the engineers are now repairing the SCU, and the base is going to be fully saved as well. It was a beautiful play, but somewhere between the going down of the SCU and the execution of the 3 capture points and watching the teleporters, it kind of fell apart. So
that is as close as you come to losing a biolab and not losing a biolab.
Yeah, that was kind of
very nicely done by Connery there.
So one thing that Briggs is... Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's almost as though Briggs started advertising it in Yell Chat.
Yeah, well, what I was getting at is that the fact that Connery has had to make defensive saves on Deep Core Geolab and LithCorp Central, but they are not staying there for the whole save to then counter pressure Bastion. So right now Briggs is doing a good job at repressuring LithCorp Central and Deep Core. They've got population and the timers are both sub 2 minutes. Connery's going to have to decide which base that they're going to make a defense with, unless they have enough forces to save both bases at the same time. But then do you gamble that not sending enough people to a particular base to make a save?
You know, interestingly, I talked about Briggs doing well to go ahead and prep their own tech plant as they come here. Connery...
Oh, infantry push at LithCorp, come check out.
Connery has a vehicle term up in the tech plant that they don't need. They're actually repairing both terminals back here. I don't understand what's going on. They've repaired both here, and they have 1 gen down. So this is just the difference of game style here.
Mass redeploy here at the LithCorp Central.
Let's just see the... Yeah. Even with the battle sunders and setup, it's too much infantry, isn't it?
It's too much infantry. They're going to get swamped. That was a massive redeploy. 69 to 31% there. Absolutely insane.
And this is the thing. It's great that Connery's made a save, but they've committed numbers to LithCorp. What about Deep Core? It's entirely possible that Deep Core go down now. And admittedly, they could counter push it later in the game. But
they're actually at the building. They're actually on the point right now. They had managed to make it to the L-shaped building by the A point, so it was just a matter of time until that squad got on point. That's something that being a good force commander is all about. It's trusting your squad leads and platoon leads as they're talking to you.
As you say that, Briggs just reinforced with Valkyries, but it's probably not enough in terms of the entire population. Yeah.
Do I trust that platoon lead when he says, don't worry about it, we're right there, we're going to get that point? Or do I say, no, I need to send more people there? Knowing your squad leads, knowing your platoon leads, knowing what their capabilities are, and knowing whether or not, okay, I'm going to give them another 30 seconds, I'm going to give them another minute to get on there. That's the main point of force leading in this game.
Well, we're 35 minutes into this game, right? And it's only really a 51 to 48 lead here for Connery. It's still a tentatively very close game. And we can see that Briggs is making another big push for Araxicum substation, another push for Zealous West Air Dock. And Zealous Northgate is being captured by Connery. So it's very much back and forth all the way across the map. What I would like to see from Connery is the committing of forces to fully secure LithCorp and Deep Core Geolab, and then fight on the Bastion.
Briggs Galaxies just turn up at Zealous Northgate. What Briggs is doing here at Zealous is they're making the most that they can out of that split peak pass lanes. They're making sure they can push all possible lanes, possibly cut off the tech plant, gain another entry to the biolab, and just gain absolute control of that southeastern part of the map.
At McCulloch Cart Mining, Connery is finally on the point here. They've probably had access to this point for, going on maybe 5 minutes now, 5 minutes. And I'm surprised that they didn't have somebody ticking it down beforehand. When there was the Crux fight going on, maybe Briggs would have been distracted. You wouldn't have had to worry about redeploys in. Now the Crux is fully saved. You know that you're going to have NC forces coming back to save this.
Yeah, but
NC lib over it.
Depending
Briggs
on...
just saved Northgate.
Okay, so depending on the amount of forces that you have in Galaxies and the ability to move your forces around, I think the most important base on the map right now is Araxicum Substation. It will cut off McKell Auxiliary Compound, it will cut off the tech plant, and if Connery gets McKell Cart Mining, it will also cut that off. Now, it won't matter as much if they get Crux, but that's if they get Crux, and that's at least 4 minutes away, and that's no guarantee that Briggs will let them have it. Right now, they're committing in a minute and a half Araxicum Substation, and it will cut off all their well-won gains at the tech plant. And with it cut off, it's as good as the SCU being dead. You can't spawn in there, you can't redeploy in there, you have to fly in with Galaxies, and then you can spawn at that base. This is huge, this is an extremely important base, and with 70 seconds to go, okay, now we see some Connery dropping on the point, but if I was Briggs, I would overcommit, I would send more people, and it's only really 2 squads, unfortunately, for Briggs, and it looks like they're just being counterpopped now. I mean, they've got Sunder set up. They can bring in extra people.
Weak links from Briggs, where they keep on attacking, and I think it's just a matter of finding the right overpop. Lithcorp, Deep Core, and Araxicom. All you need to do is put the right number of people on there at the right time, and you're going to get that. Same thing is going for Connery. You can see now the massive overpop that's come into McCulloch Cart Mining, more than in a platoon coming back from Briggs to try and get that point back, and they're flipping it here. Now, the same amount has been put onto Crux headquarters. As a force commander, if I'm Vanu, I'm looking at that and saying at least a half, maybe 2/3 of the Briggs population is in 2 bases right now. What can I push? Now, one of the good things here is that Briggs has managed to tick down Zealous Northgate and tick down Soltech Charging, so they have a little bit of defense with time that they can move their forces around. But as Connery, you need to be looking at how those people are placed all in the center. No Briggs is all there, and where can you place your guys while they're all sitting on those 2 bases resecuring them?
If I was Force Commander currently for Briggs, I would be placing the Briggs Air Force all over Araxicom along with a giant overpop to ensure, at the right time of course, to ensure that goes through, because that would be a very powerful play at this stage.
Oh, there's an Air Force battle going over Crux headquarters.
Briggs Air Force is currently over at Crux headquarters, that's where they're stationed.
Connery's Air Force has just turned up though.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge air battle right now.
They're making a play for it. Wow, this is incredible! Laser light show. If only it was nighttime. They're just picking on the Galaxies.
That's what I love about the new Galaxies. Like the fact that there's so many Galaxies. It does look like a game of Battleship in Planetside mode.
Oh, but the Galaxies of Briggs, they're on the run, and look at the amount of firepower that is just coming in from. Holy crap!
This is like something out of an alien invasion movie. Just how many fun.
Hey, dude, seriously, I realize I don't want to go off topic here, but did you hear they're actually filming Independence Day 2? This is the trailer. Yeah! Oh man, you need to check it out.
Are they using Planetside? Because I swear it could classify as Independence Day 2 with that amount of sides.
Alright, so what kind of populations are we seeing here at Crux? It's actually 55 in favour of Connery, so they've got it semi-ticked down, and with the A point flipping down now, let's see how long. Oh, it's sub 2 minutes if they get this. No wonder they're making the play for it. All 3 points are now contested though.
This is nose gun meta from Connery here. This is just probably just regular nose
80
gun
seconds.
And rocket pod meta from the air. I don't see that many PPA size, so they're just trying to rocket pod and
Connery's Air Force has got control. See, Connery Air Force got control. They just picked off the last Briggs Sunder on the A point that offered contention at the A point, which means all of their forces have to come from the spawn rooms. The sky is dominated by Connery. Connery has to come out of the Briggs has to come out of the spawn rooms as infantry, and they're getting pounded. All 3 capture points are in the hands of Connery, yeah. So Briggs has really got a tough time here. McCulloch Cart Mining. See all the forces here that is from Briggs is at McCulloch Cart Mining. That doesn't matter because you're going to get cut off. Crux is more important with 40 seconds to go. It's so important you can even sacrifice part of your Air Force here to anti-air and whatnot. And we can actually see that the very smartly Connery's Air Force is actually off into the distance at the next air spawn for Briggs. So they're camping the next particular area that they could come out of. And with 20 seconds to go, this is a huge play by Connery. And they're going to get this. Skyguard gets pulled out of the vehicle terminal, but he's driving off into the wilderness. You ain't going to live long. He's already got a Liberate on top of him.
I don't think I've ever seen a Skyguard move so fast.
Oh, here we go. So the infantry's now only begin to spawn out the spawn bit.
C point, but it's just not going to be enough. It's going to be game over, and that is a huge play by Connery. My God!
Connery gets headquarters. They cut off McCallacart Manning. Not that it really matters, because in the next 10 seconds, Briggs can't redeploy there anyway to make a save. So this is big. This is actually really big, because now it means
Briggs takes Soltec charging, but definitely got the worst out of that trade of bases right there.
Yeah, technically speaking, oh wait, they're going to lose Zealous Northgate as well while they're at it. It's all right. So the scoring is now up to 53 to 46, and it's going to go a little bit more with the Zealous flip. Now Briggs is.
We speak, Splitbeak's also going down as well.
It's only small numbers though. So the fact is, Briggs has to reapply pressure to Crux headquarters. They can't really allow the enemy to push into Araxicum. Or more importantly, here, Connery can go for the warp gate. It's only Black Shard and then Amrish ARX before you get there. Go check out the western lane.
Look at that huge bulge in the middle that Connery has managed to push into, and it's defended by a relatively easy to defend 3-point base. I mean, it's not a bastion, but you would have to think that letting say a group of 36 people sit at Crux headquarters and just defend it for the next hour and a half is a fairly easy thing for them to do, especially if you have that air presence.
Now, right now, I'm trying to figure out where the majority of the NC is, because they really need to find a way to take back Crux or to make a play to cut him off somehow.
Well, Briggs is now beginning to apply pressure at Soltec Gorge. They've got the Sunders on the southern side. Interestingly... Oh, this is going to be interesting. There's going to be a lightning force coming across a much larger Sunder force. I'm not entirely sure these lightnings know what they're coming in for here at Soltec Gorge.
I have to come over and have a look at this.
3 AP lightnings on the west side of Soltec Gorge fighting across the Briggs' Sunder force that's coming down the south.
Whoa.
I mean, it's ballsy. They're going for it. They are trying to make a play, but they are way up popped. Oh, even rammed!
In fact, they've managed to single out one of the Sunders, but the Furies are just tearing them apart here.
It's Oh wow, they've even got one. I'm surprised. Are these Sunders empty? Are the drivers having to then gun?
I'm not entirely sure. Yet, in fact, most of these Sunders are...
One lightning left.
A lot of these Sunders are not manned.
Connery has a decent-sized air force over Split Peak Pass right now. They only own 2 points. They're trying to hammer away and get another one, move their forces around, but I'm wanting to see if maybe that Connery Air Force was just a temporary thing and it dissolved now to go get some more points, or if they're going to bring that Hammer of God kind of mentality to some other bases here.
Briggs
All 4
now
points
managed to
are
get onto
flipping.
Soltec Gorge.
Lightning just drove under a lightning because he got stuck. Oh, his buddy's stuck. Oh, that's cool. His buddy in the Skyguard is stuck, and they're trying to ram him to get him free.
Oh man, I am so happy to see this from Connery. This is what we've been missing. There is a dual Cobalt Sunder driven by recursion directly onto the D point here at Split Peak. You can just imagine trying to come down through that choke point with basically 2 Mod Deuces pointed at your head. There's nothing that's going to get through there. It's really going to take an effort from Briggs at this point to at least get D point back, and D point is usually where you start your push out to get this base back.
And speaking of Sunders, creative Sunders, there's currently a Sunder at Deepcore Geolab by Briggs. In fact, never mind, it just got destroyed, but it's actually just sitting on a point, mortaring and shelling the hell out of the spawn room. At Deepcore Geolab, there is now a ton of VS Maxes pushing for the point. I'm not sure if they've got enough time to get on there. It's really going to come down to the wire for this one.
It's quite an impressive vehicle fight going on at Soltec, but it's not really making any difference on the actual capture point itself. Briggs is making good territorial gains. They've got they made the save at Soltec. They made the capture at Soltec, and now they're plashing pressure at the Soltec Gorge.
Under
50-50 pops.
Split Peak Pass, all 4 points are owned by Connery. Lots of force multipliers. That Cobalt Sunder is still down there at D. I don't see a massive combined push here from the NC. They're just kind of going wherever they can. Oh, I just saw something blow up at D. I wonder if that was that Sunder. It was. They managed to get the Sunder.
Briggs has made one more play. A lot of zombies on point now by Briggs, but just not enough. They've made another play at Lithcorp Central. Unfortunately, the Connery have just managed to reinforce it with their air force, and just take them back off point again.
So,
Even losing the D point,
Briggs gets D.
it's,
Stalls it to a minute.
It's 1 minute.
But their Air Force is here as well, above in the skies. But they need to get A, B, or C. They need to get one of those points. Anyone from the pilots can drop out. Here comes a Galaxy. He's going to drop people out the Charlie point. Any day now. Okay, couple of guys. Yeah, C point's now flipping.
Okay, so they have made a play on C point here.
And the population is definitely in their favor. And massively overpopped here at Crux headquarters as well, so they are definitely trying to get that back as well.
So Briggs' Air Force over Split Peak, making that an important save. That is an important base. They cannot afford to lose that. It allows them to threaten. Although it is a long resecure, because Split Peak is so far wrong, it's in the balance of favour of Connery. Connery can come back in the next 6 minutes, even if all 4 capture points are being held by Briggs, and then reapply pressure to Split Peak. That secures their 2 southern flank, at Zealous West and Araxicum substation. So long as they fight at Split Peak, it's safe. And this is a problem that Connery is trying to solve with Lithcorp Central Deep Core. If they can save those 2 bases which they have in the past and then hold a point at Bastion, it means the fighting's always at Bastion, but Briggs is not allowing that to happen.
Once again, Briggs making very heavy use of the galaxies. Once again, seeing just all these galaxies grouped up. In fact, I'm seeing a Connery Air Force coming in to intercept this. This is going to be another huge air fight over Split Peak here.
Yep, here it comes.
A lot of sides at high altitude. They're about to come down onto these galaxies. In fact, there's Vanu Galaxy coming in as well. Here we go.
There's a cap going on at Subterranean Net Analysis that the NC hold. I'm going to go fly over there and see how this goes.
What? There's a Valkyrie in the middle of this air fight for Connery, and he's even got side gunners just shooting at aircraft. Okay, he's dropping people on the A point, but and he's got the laser rocket launcher. He's trying to laser rocket the aircraft.
So, the Subterranean Net Analysis is going on right now. I was hoping for maybe a squad or something. It's not a squad. It's a single infiltrator. So Connery knows what they're doing. They sent a single infiltrator here. He's screwing with them with them greatly. I'm actually going to see how this goes here.
Just watched a NC Galaxy ram straight into a VS Galaxy. You know, if you're going down, may as well take one with you, eh?
Yeah, I see what you mean by... We're just seeing it for the first time on stream on PSP1. The Repair Galaxy / Ammo Galaxy, they're in the back of the airball, and they're like fallback points. So whenever, a Scythe is low in ammo or kind of low in health, they fall back to the rally point of their galaxies, and then they can get back into the fight so much faster than they could, in previous kind of game meta.
Sadly, the solo Stalker Cloak Infiltrator was found out and killed at Subterranean. Good job to you, sir. Good job to try and get that base by yourself.
Wow, Briggs have really committed to Subterranean unnecessarily, and in the meantime,
Split Peak is threatened again.
One Stalker Cloak Infiltrator drew 2 squads of people back there.
That is just insane.
We can see that on the far west, Soltec Gorge has been saved by Connery, and it looks like the population numbers are back at Soltec Charging Station. Deep Core Geolab looks like it's being saved, 6% population for Connery. Lithcorp has been fully saved, so again, the potential to make an attack by Connery in the Bastion is there, although there are 2 squads to a platoon waiting at the Bastion of Briggs ready to counterattack. It looks like good for Briggs as they are applying pressure at Crux headquarters and fighting Crux headquarters, which means their adjacent bases aren't necessarily being flipped. But Split Peak Pass seems to be the new pressure point for Connery. They're making a play, they're back.
They are about to get the 4th point.
3 point, yeah, and they're going to go for the...
Galaxy just landed at Lithcorp for Briggs, and they have managed to drop a squad off, but once again the Connery Air Force has just decimated that hold. In fact, as I say this, more Briggs galaxies coming in to drop off troops. I see at least 3 galaxies.
Where's this?
I see a platoon of Briggs here.
Where's this happening?
Lithcorp Central, sorry. And having the infantry on point at this base is good and all, but because it's up on this cliffside, it makes it extremely easy for the Connery Air Force to just decimate their hold. So I'm not sure how they're going to plan on counteracting this. Sundra's rolling up as well at this time, so they're definitely committing a lot of troops to this one.
Connery is pushing down into the D point here. It's 90 seconds without holding D. We'll see if there's a very, very nice point hold going on from Briggs down on the D point. They don't have any spawns, but they can run down from their own spawn room a little bit easier than Connery can get here. We'll see if Connery can manage to make it down through what is pretty much a death trap.
So as Connery makes that offense on Soltec charging, Briggs is landed 48 to 96 on Lift Corp. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get this through, because once again, I'm not seeing too much AA presence here by Briggs, and that has been the one factor that has just destroyed every single attempt they've made on this base. We'll have to see how it goes.
Just following this one Vanu heavy assault, seeing what he's up to.
In all the rush for VS to get deep point back, they're actually losing a bunch of other points behind them. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe
they did a lovely flanking maneuver at Delta. They couldn't come in from one direction, so they just flanked in from behind. They've got the D point, but unfortunately they've lost the C point. Otherwise it would be literally over. But it's still 60 seconds to go, and the Connery Air Force, not the Briggs Air Force, has turned up the split peak pass, and they're actually now beginning to flip the Charlie point. Oh wait, no, I tell a lie. Yes, they are. It's going back and forth, and right now they're going to get the C point. This is going to be over in seconds now. As soon as this flips, it's going to be in just a few seconds.
This is such a change in the style of play from Connery. I mean, this is a change from squad leadership on up. You see flanking, you see Sunders being used on points. They really, really have learned their lessons here. 6 seconds until this cap point goes through.
There we have it. So I guess dominant recursion there, but split peak pass captured by Connery.
Meanwhile, Lithcorp, 5 NC Sunder is currently parked up in the tunnel area. They are really committing here. 4 beacons, a whole lot of play happening here right now.
You would think that this would be the one place that anti-vehicle mag riders would really come into play from Connery. You know, you could an AV mag rider could get up into these little points that no other tank could take out these Sunders a lot easier. This is a really difficult hold here at Lithcorp. It's going to take a lot of effort from VS to get this back.
The thing is, Briggs also... Oh, wow, hello. Yep, speaking of mag riders, there are mag riders and some Air Force. But I was going to say, Briggs has got a really, really strong lightning force just to the west. Absolutely wrecked a Liberator.
Yeah, they've pulled a lot of Sky Guards.
Yeah, so it's 1 Repair Sunder and about 4 Sky Guards. Oh, look behind you guys, there's a Liberator!
Liberators. Oh, that Liberator's in trouble though.
Oh, wow, the thing is, it's Sky Guard versus Air Force, and Air Force at the moment, it's hard to say.
Galaxy's coming in. Briggs really needs to tighten up on this point hold here.
They have a Sunder deployed right on A point, which is one of the benefits of this base, and they're still losing the point. Man, what a push from Connery right here.
And Briggs really tried to use those Sky Guards, but the amount of Liberators, Jesus, there's like 2 Liberators for every Lightning Sky Guard.
That is an amazing, amazing push from Connery. That is so difficult to do. I mean, Briggs literally had spawn on the point. All they had to do was keep on spawning on that Sunder, and they could immediately flip the point back.
That was just a crushing attack by Connery. But in that process, Deep Core Geolab is going down. But I anticipate that Connery Air Force is going to head straight.
Yeah, but they've got less than 60 seconds. I mean, it needs to be fast. I mean, yeah, okay, the Air Force is here. Oh, wow, okay, yep, it's here. And it's ripping into Briggs' air. The thing is, Briggs, I'm not seeing Briggs keeping an Air Force in the sky. I think Connor's doing a significantly better job of basically controlling the air and being able to manipulate the middle of the map and move around.
Definitely so, I think.
But look at this, the timer, 33 seconds. If I was Briggs, everyone get on the point. Everyone get to the point, right? Air Force flying around isn't infantry on the ground.
The majority of Connery is actually not heading over here. The air is, but not necessarily the infantry.
17 seconds out, and Connery really needs to make a Galaxy needs to land on point, like right now, for them to be able to capture Deep Core back.
And Briggs is smartly falling on the point.
Medics up into the main point, getting absolutely hammered by some PPA sites, dropping a Valkyrie on the point.
Oh, they're gonna get it. Briggs is gonna get it.
1 second.
There you go. Briggs gets it.
Well played to RS&C.
But the thing is, this is a small outpost that can go back and forth. The fact is, Briggs could then theoretically push Hyoka Armory, but the fact is, they can be counter-pushed back to the Bastion just as easy, and we've still got over an hour left to go.
Blackshot Tungsten.
Oh, how did I miss that? Oh, wow. So, Warp Gate ahoy! 1 base to go.
Oh my god.
And that's the problem with
Meanwhile,
losing Crux. We saw this in the championship match as well. Once you lose that, it just opens up such a dagger straight into the heart of the territory.
Meanwhile, Zealous Northgate is going down once again, but is it really important at this stage? If I was Briggs...
maybe not, but I think there's a Raxicom network hub, you're right, that is also ticking down. The amount of population is huge, plus it's the airball. The fact is, if you're... Oh my god, they're I don't even care. I'm just going to camp at the spawn room inside of your flak because we'll just rotate gals and gal repair. It's brutal.
If Connery decided to drop every single person they had on Amherst Ark's reserve and either Shadespire or Jagged Lance Mine, they don't have to hold Amherst Arks. They simply have to take Shadespire and all of that territory is cut off. They simply have to take Jagged Lance and all of that territory is cut off.
What? That's true. It's totally true. Cut off the entire continent. Hypothetically, guys, and this is totally possible, with the way that Connery is playing and the way that their Air Force is just brushing aside Briggs from what we're seeing in our cameras, you're right. They could go for ARX, they could then push the adjacent territories on the warp gate, north or south.
From Briggs on Max Recon.
On 20 seconds to go, though?
They're getting slaughtered by air.
But what is the nanite investment here by all these maxes?
Most of them didn't even make it up to the second level of the stairs.
They're still moving. A lot of zombies moving up, but they've lost their max suits. Here they go.
Okay, no, some maxes did make it. Charging to the point. 1 second, there's no bodies on point. It's just a few seconds too late. It's a valiant push, horrendous air force that they had to go through, but even by making it to the point, they don't have enough maxes to counteract. This one VS max is ripping them apart.
Current problem that Briggs isn't shooting hard enough with this air. They need to really get some AA maxes up, they need to get some AA nests up, and just counter this air however they can, because from what I can tell, the Vanu air is decimating the Briggs force on left, right.
96 plus for Briggs currently at Raxicom Network Hub. Now, they don't necessarily have any spawn sunders up, but they do have maxes, they have taken the point. So everyone that's dead here theoretically should be able to be repaired and rezzed up again. So they should be able to kind of recuperate some of their nanite costs from max pool. Looks like the Air Force, Briggs has turned up. They've got galaxies in the skies. It looks like we're having a bit of a whale wars. The Air Forces are fighting each other at Raxicom Network Hub, but as you were saying, I think the Connery Air Force is the dominant one when these two forces meet.
The primary issue here is that the Briggs keep pulling galaxies in anticipation of utilizing this new galaxy repair function, but at the end of the day, Connery just has way too many sides that are focus firing on these galaxies, and it's just outdoing the repairs. So it's really not an effective strategy that Briggs has got going for their Air Force currently, from what I can tell.
Well, I actually came over here to Amherst Ark's reserve to confirm this, but Amherst Ark's is one of the most I think the word would be that Emerald would use would be lol-tastic bases that you can use as a point hold. This is the one where if you put enough maxes on the point, even though you're only feet away from the spawn room, you have to come through such insane chokeholds to get there. If Connery manages to push forward and put a max hold on here, I don't see. I mean, Briggs is going to have to commit so many forces to get them off. I'm really wondering if Connery knows what they have at pushing for the warp gate. It's not just a matter of touching the warp gate like it used to be. Now you can do so much damage to the map by touching the warp gate. I mean, forget 70%. If you cut off one of those
you can capture the entire map. Yeah.
You could dominate this game.
So anyway, looking at kind of an overview of the map, Soltec charging station is the focal point on the west. It's being held by Briggs. Cobalt, where did they come from? Connery is 50-50 fight, not really going anywhere. We can see from the Bastion, there's a push at Hyoka Armory, although Connery's just redeployed in, so I'm going to go there. And they're also doing Lithcorp Central again. I'm going to zip over now to Hyoka Armory. 2 minutes to go.
At East Hills checkpoint, and Connery has decided it wants a little redemption at this base. They have decided to drop on the point. They don't have... I'm trying to look if they see... They're trying to get some Sunders in position for some good spawns, but this looks like just a nice little point hold from... I can't tell.
ARX is ticking down.
Who's on the point here?
I don't know, but it's small though.
I'm going to go to ARX.
Looking like Connery wants some redemption here at East Hills.
It's a very high pop redeployment at Hyoka Armory as well. And the infantry can come in underground unmolested. It doesn't really matter because Briggs Air Force isn't here. They couldn't do anything if they were here. But
okay, so We've got about an 8-man squad sitting here at Amrish ARX with the tag of SOUX. Absolutely, they're facing absolutely no resistance at this stage.
Why don't you shout in proximity chat, hey, you! Who are you?
More Connery have just turned up. This is now a squad plus point hold here. We're just gonna have to really allocate some forces, otherwise this is like the entire match.
Brutal resecure Hyoka Armory. It was just quick and sudden. We need a lot more people to do that, just with the safe nature of the capture point. Oh wow, check out Zealous Northgate again. 55 seconds. Let's go check that out.
Briggs seem to have switched away from their Galaxy meta. I'm seeing a ton of Valkyries. I don't know if this is a split up in forces. We see an entire squad using them here at Lithcorp Central, using them to move around the base even. I see him picking people up from the A point and dropping them on the roof of the banana building to use as interdiction forces to stop the small forces coming down and flipping the point.
Yeah, no, there's 1 hour remaining in the match now. 1 hour remaining.
Zealous Northgate is currently overpopped.
35 seconds to go,
NC is holding it.
but it's more than enough because the runtime of the sheer number of forces on the ground floor is only a few seconds to the cap point. Yeah.
One can be hopeful.
With the air on the top and the spawns cut off, yeah, Zealous Northgate's done. Lithcorp Central, 1 minute to go. ARX, is that still ticking down? No, okay, it's stalled.
Yep.
Simply not enough people on the Amrish Arcs Reserve point hold for the VS. And honestly, if I were the VS commander, I would be leery of doing these small little probing natures here. If I'm going to attack Amrish Arcs, I'm going to attack it with everything I got. You know, I don't want Briggs to start looking at it. I want to basically put everyone on it and them not to realize what I'm doing.
Connery's firefighting at the moment. They made the save at Hyoka Army. They're making the save at Lithcorp. They had to make the save at the Zealous Northgate. They were probing at the East Hills checkpoint, and it looks like they had to make a somewhat save at Raxcom Network Hub. So there's a lot of kind of like small fires that they're putting out. But you're right, if you're going to go for ARX, go big. But the problem is, by going big into ARX, you could lose your lead in the rest of the map. Now, does it matter if you get it? It doesn't mean that you've cut off territory. You'd still need to get Shared Spire Farms. But I think Shared Spire Farms is a significantly easier base to capture than ARX.
Frankly,
once again,
Vanu
Air has just turned up at Lithcorp and decimated the NC's push. This is the one issue that Briggs run into every time. They need to get some AA here whenever they try to cap this point, otherwise it's game over.
Connery still doesn't have the point back at Lithcorp, though.
It's coming. With 60 seconds to go, Connery can take their time.
Actually, as I fly in here, I can see all the Doritos, all the purple Doritos that are just literally confetti on the mountainside. One of the things that Connery does every time it resecures this base is it does not go down the paths you would expect. They don't come down the choke point. They're going over the mountain, around the mountain, up, down, left and right. They're not coming the paths that you expect. And that's one of the reasons they were able to take out that really, really brilliant point hold that Briggs had here a little while ago. They had rocket pod heavies who were just basically poking in every single little opening and firing at them.
Over Crux headquarters right now, a lot of NC Reavers have just been caught by surprise by this Vanu airball, and it is a laser light show. These sides are firing upon these Reavers, and there's just lasers coming out from render range. It is ridiculous.
Over Crux headquarters?
Correct. No, over Raxacom Network Hub now. Looks like NC have primarily switched up from Galaxies to Reavers. There's a lot more Reavers and Liberators in the air now as opposed to what there were. But it's still not enough. There's just too much air from Connery.
Galaxies still are a main focus here of Connery Air. In fact, I was following 2 repair Galaxies from Future Crew, trying to see where they were off to. I thought maybe they were going to try and push out of the amp station lane, but I don't honestly know where they're wandering off to.
From what I can tell, it appears as though Briggs Air has actually caught Connery Air by surprise here. Connery Air...
They're holding their ground.
Head on, and it appears as though Briggs have come out on top on this one, or at least have had less casualties.
As you see the 3 Briggs repair Galaxies, stay together, hold formation!
I'm not sure what kind of... They look like a collapsing Jenga tower, they really do.
Oh, but the fact is, it's a very strong focal point.
Oh, man. Amrish Arcs Reserve, Connery managed to get people on the point, but they got back-capped as they were here. They have maxes, they have...
Oh, yeah, Black Shard.
But they got back.
Well, speaking of that, there was actually quite a bit of population at Soltec Charging Station that got back done at Soltec Gorge. So Soltec Gorge is also ticking down. So Briggs, it's painful. I kind of want to watch this kind of air fight that's going on. We kind of need to see what the other bases are going on as well. You can stay here all day and just watch this laser show.
If I was the Briggs Force Commander, I would get that Air Force straight to Blackshot Tungsten to try and make sure that cap goes through and at least block off this lane from Connery.
That's as far as I can tell, that's the first successful defense in the sky by Briggs, and Briggs is making the push. I mean, check the amount of Sunders and infantry it's set up at Raxacom Network Hub. That is a huge infantry push going on.
The Briggs Skyguard and Basilisk Sunday Force is in effect at Araxicom Network Hub. They are definitely trying to defend against the inevitable airball from Connery that's going to come here. They have a point hold going on, and they actually don't have that many people on point. You know, this is a great tactic to try and stop resecure from the outside, but this is actually a base that you resecure from the inside. You resecure from the spawner.
So, alright, so ignoring some of the ground bases here for a moment, we can see that the Connery Air Force is regrouping over the ascent, and it is a long-range kind of anti-air standoff. The repair galaxies are fighting the other repair galaxies with their anti-air guns, and because they've got ammo galaxies, this is going to be a never-ending fight of just air deterrence ribbons.
One NC Galaxy is in a lot of trouble here. He's on fire, going down, making the run for it. Actually, he's actually successfully been able to run off, and with
his partner's following him for repairs. That's nice following.
That is very nicely done. Look at that maneuver.
But he's still burning heavily, though.
He's gained a bit of health now. He's joined up now.
Oh! He's run into each other. Yeah, okay, there you go. Done.
Well played by Bam.
Connery has the beginning of a point hold going on here at Amherst Sharks. Briggs is not going to let them get this set up. They have a lot of people coming in right now. I'm sure Connery is trying to race people in to get this point hold set up more. I just don't think it's going to last long enough.
But while this is happening, Heyoka Armory is going down, and Soltech Gorge is currently being flipped back into the Vanu's favour. But the timer has stalled. Briggs appears to be back on the point. I'm going to head over there now to see what's going on.
They've got, so there's a small force at Split Peak Pass. It doesn't look like maybe that Connery has forces for every single lane. So Zealous Northgate, small force from Briggs is flipping that, causing it to tick down. Small forces at Split Peak Pass, forcing that to tick down. And you don't want these bases ticking down at all with small forces. And you're right, Heyoka Armory, 20 so seconds to go. So two bases look like they're going to flip now in favour of Briggs.
You know, I said this point hold was not going to stay in Amherst Sharks, but it is. And they keep on gaining more people here.
Heyoka Armory is now stalled for Briggs, but they do have more members moving onto the point there. Maxsuit's still holding strong.
The Heyoka Armory, yeah, it's going to go through. They can't stop it. There's not enough time for the run to the point.
Amherst Sharks Reserve just had 2 galaxies worth of VS come in, drop people. Unfortunately, they didn't drop them right on point. They were a little ways away. They have to run across the bridge to get here. There is simply not enough grouping up from Briggs. If Briggs managed to drop down into the leftmost cave and just push through, they could probably get in here with some grenade spam and maxes. But every second that ticks past, Connery keeps on bringing more people. We're under 2 minutes at this base. This is such a critical place. It is not about touching the warp gate. It is about getting to those next bases and being able to cut off massive amounts of territory.
The Briggs Force Commander really needs to see this coming and legitimately put arguably the entire force in there to make sure that does not go through. Because if that goes through, it's going to be a really tough time for Briggs in the final hour of this match.
I mean, to be honest, if I was Connery, I'd assume I'd get Amherst Airx, here comes another Gal reinforcements, and I'd have an infiltrator in Shadespire.
Yeah, Connery needs to have people at the next bases ahead of them, and frankly, Briggs needs to spare a couple of people, not an entire squad, like 1 or 2, infiltrators to go stop that from happening as well. Assume that you're going to lose this base.
Is this it? Is this the final push? 60 seconds. Thing is, grenades and conks. This is a very tight area. There's a lot of grenades going off here. And the actual defensive force at Amherst Airx cap point is small. It's very small numbers.
Briggs are now into the lowest sections of the tunnel. They need to get up this stairway.
Oh, the maxes are going down, and the infantry are going down. And the consumables and the grenades. That's a lot of infantry from Briggs running up to the point.
Final push. EMP grenades going off left, right, and center.
Oh, they've been crunched from both sides.
Oh man, a single
this.
grenade from Connery at that point, a single stick of C4, but they just didn't have it.
But to be fair, they used a lot of grenades and C4 to get that far.
That was like a very colourful show, that was.
And none of you are VS, so you don't know that good old Poonanners, who is doing his own cast on one of our observer cams, is screaming his Poonanners-ness out over proxy chat as that happens.
Is he playing? He's playing VS, yeah?
He's playing VS, yes.
Oh, okay. Damn, I can't get that. I'm not going to change characters. Right, okay, Zealous Northgate is actually possibly going to go in favour of Briggs as well. And again, Lithcorp Central, I think they're beginning to get PTSD from Lithcorp Central. We'll go check that out with 60 seconds to go.
I think the more important part here is the connection to Heyoka.
I'll be honest when I say that it was the PTSD base I was expecting to come out of this match was going to be Subtree and NI, but that, only the initial engagement lasted there, so colour me shocked.
Another 60 seconds to go. Another Air Force turned up. Another pounding of the Sunders. They got, what, 3 of them this time? 2 of them? It's hard to say. There's a lot of... That's a shiny Sunder.
It was doing something extremely weird.
Yeah, it's doing very shininess, but they're dead.
And unfortunately, the Sunders are going to go down, and once again, that Connery airball, there's nothing Briggs can do about it.
Briggs is attempting to get onto the point at Heyoka Tech Plant. They do have connection. They managed to get connection in here, and Connery has not blown their vehicle terminals. Briggs has managed to hack both vehicle terminals out there, pouring Sunders out of the vehicle terminals at Heyoka Tech Plant right now. They have 2 up. They're trying to get more up. Squads are just dropping out of these Sunders. This is I don't understand. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times we have had a ServerSmash where we have had this conversation about the vehicle terminals at the back of the tech plant and why anyone repairs them and lets them there for the enemy. I just don't get.
I don't think they'd let them get anywhere near Heyoka, but they are there though. Oh, okay, so we're at Soltech charging station on the capture point. Connor's trying to take it, and what's here? The Briggs Air Force.
Ah, there they are.
This is a very small force of Briggs at Heyoka Tech Plant right now. This is when you need to squash this from going on. They have both vehicle terminals hacked. They are blowing up the Sunders that are used as defense underneath the tech plant. They are pulling out more Sunders by the moment, trying to get more squads into this tech plant. If you are a good platoon leader, a good force commander, you are literally swapping people out of squads, pulling somebody into Alpha, pulling somebody into Bravo. Finally, we have some reaction from Connery coming down the tunnels trying to take this out.
Come over, check out.
I've just noticed some of the Connery air, and they are actually heading to Soltech. We're going to see an air battle over Soltech any moment now.
Oh no, man! I just left it. Right, coming back.
Yep, head on back here because there's an air battle brewing and it's going to be big. A lot of the Briggs there, what I can tell, is switched up.
Oh yeah, they're turning up. Yeah, see it.
Here we go. I love these night air battles, man. They always look pretty epic.
There are now 3 Sunders up in the back of Heyoka Tech Plant. That means 3 squads at least can spawn in here for Briggs.
Another Briggs Galaxy going down. Alright, the 3 repair galaxies for Briggs are currently bunched up, but there is a Vanu galaxy going for the ram. Doesn't quite get it. Liberator goes in for the ram. He doesn't get it either. It's really hard to tell right now who's going to come out with the victor out of this air battle, but from what I can tell, so far it looks like Briggs.
Briggs has lost the point at the tech plant. I'm trying to wait to see if Connery can take out these Sunders.
One of their repair galaxies got nuked. There's only one left, and he's getting nuked now as well for Briggs. Looks like Connery's beginning to... The Liberators have caught up, and they're just pounding onto the Daltons onto their...
Those Liberators have been an extremely powerful play for Connery.
Well, that one galaxy seems like it's going to get away, or is it?